Welcome to Doors to Hope and Healing, an inside look at the many facets of work that is happening at the Department of Children and Families, between our staff, the families we serve, and our community partners. My name is Jacqueline Ford. I have had the honor of working for the department for almost 30 years. And although I may be familiar with many of the topics we bring to you, I have invited experts in those fields to help us dispel the myths and misconceptions that can often be barriers to our work. Join us as we open our doors and invite you to have a seat at our table. Ted, thanks so much for being on our show today. It's a pleasure to have you.
Thanks for having me.
So our show is all about talking to our viewers about the many facets of the Department of Children and Families, all of the work that we're doing, and letting our viewers know that DCF isn't only about foster care. You know, so much work is being done behind the doors. So today we invited you on to talk to us about your role at the department. So can you introduce yourself to our viewers and tell a little bit about yourself?
Sure. My name is Ted Sanford. I've been with the department for 26 years. Started as a social worker in the Norwich office. Had many roles. It's a really unique agency that there's so many different areas. You know, I was in the adolescent unit, did foster care for a while, our investigations area. And then I was in like a sexual abuse unit for a while. Well, for 2 years, all I did was sexual abuse cases. Mm-hmm. Just the area and the broad scope of work is pretty amazing. Mm-hmm. And then I've kind of gone up the chain of command a little bit. I was a supervisor and a program supervisor. Right now, I'm a program director in transitional supports and success. So my main role is overseeing all our 27 care, what we call congregate care, so our residential treatment centers, group homes, our STAR programs, and then also our quality parenting centers. Mm-hmm. We have a few other initiatives. So we have a contract with Goodwin College that does vocational training for some of our kids in the RTC. So it's pretty interesting work, and for transitional supports and success, it really focuses on adolescents and kids leaving our care. And
I was just going to ask that. So it sounds like your focus right now is more on our adolescents and, you know, helping them to be successful when they do leave our department's support and the family that we do provide them, you know, as young people. Can you talk a little bit about the congregate setting to our viewers who may not understand what congregate means? What is that? How do we define that? So
congregate is defined as a non-family setting. So any placement that doesn't have parents, obviously, mm-hmm. They're manned by staff 24/7. So is really the definition. Mm-hmm. And QPCs, or quality parenting centers, came out of our system. So when our executive team did an analysis of the overall congregate care system, one of the goals in Connecticut has been to reduce the kids in congregate care, mm-hmm. and we've been successful with that over the last 10 years. And our exec team had vision and really looked at what are the needs. And when they looked at the idea of quality parenting centers, and creating a home-like setting for families to visit, we were able to repurpose some funding out of congregate care with OPM's approval and create the quality parenting centers. So we have 7 centers right now across the state, and we're adding 2 more. And whereabouts are they located, in different regions of where DCF? Yep. So 7 area offices have them right now. We're adding actually 3 more. Mm-hmm. So the ultimate goal is to have the funding to have a quality parenting center in every area office. Wow, that's a goal. It seems like we're working towards that and achieving that goal. So tell me, what is a quality parenting center? So really, it's a home. And that's what's really kind of the neat thing about this. You know, for years, our families have had to go to a DCF office and sit, you know, in a small, you know, 8x8 room with maybe a couple chairs in it, or they'll go to the mall or McDonald's, and you know, it's not a comfortable environment really not that it adds to the trauma, but it's very stressful. So to be able to walk into a home and they've identified, you know, visits this week's going to happen in the living room, so they'll have some activities there, and they have a visitation plan. So if they want to use the kitchen and the dining room, they can actually plan a meal and have a meal as part of their visit. And that was the whole goal, is to make it as comfortable and as really a private too as they can. And we also have professional guidance within the Quality Parenting Center. So we use therapeutic family time, which is an evidence-based model it's really a coaching model. So you coach a parent before, have some goals during the visit, and then kind of guide that parent through the visit and then have feedback after.
That's wonderful. And when you talk about coaching, is that person, that professional, a part of the actual visit?
They sit in on the visit, yep.
So they're supervising that visit and then
Correct.
providing the feedback.
Yep.
That's wonderful. And then they're sharing that information as part of the case planning, I'm sure.
Exactly.
Do the kids live in these quality parenting centers?
No, most of the kids right now are either coming from foster care. So one of our goals is to have the foster parents eventually, you know, join the visit, be part of and support that bio parent. You know, foster care is temporary, you know, so we need to really look at and build up the family and give them the resources they need to get that child back with them.
So how are the quality parenting centers, or how are they staffed throughout the day?
So they're staffed from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., or actually 7 p.m. So depending on, we have drivers, so they provide all the transportation for the parents and the kids. And then they have a coach during that visit. And then that coach also spends time pre-visit and post-visit.
So it's a whole process.
Right.
And are they visiting maybe more than once a week? It's also giving them that opportunity.
Yep, depending on, you know, the age of the kid. Our younger kids, we like to visit as much as we possibly can. School-age kids, it's a little more challenging with after-school activities in school. But what's really nice about the younger kids is it's available during the day. You know,
Sure.
so we're able to kind of take advantage of that, which is nice.
One of our previous guests was from the central intake unit, the transportation unit. So he was sharing how, you know, his drivers are taking these children and the parents to the visits at the visiting centers,
Right.
so that they're assigning that same staff. So, you know, that whole process of visiting, families visiting, the growth that the department has really just has grown tremendously over the years to value that whole experience.
Right.
The guests, a previous show that we just did was talking about how they're trying to even impact the visiting rooms right at the area offices and trying to make those be more home-like settings so that our families understand that we really do value them and we want their child to get back home.
That's amazing.
Now the centers that we're talking about, are those up and running right now?
Yep, they're up and running, so they're doing visits right now. You know, overall, the feedback that we're getting is it's going very well. The parents like it. You know, anytime you have to visit at a DCF office, it's so, you're under a microscope. You feel like you're under a microscope. And in the community, if you have someone supervising a visit, usually people are watching you, like what's going on over there.
Right.
And so it's been able to add to lessen anxiety, and it's just more comfortable. And it's like being in a home, being in a living room or the dining room. Outside, they had all the centers have play areas, playscapes. So they're even in nicer weather, they're going to be outside and being able to spend time doing things like that, which is nice. And
it's a safe setting too. It's
Absolutely.
Safe for the child and for the family. Are these homes or are they buildings that have been renovated to be kind of home-like?
They're all homes.
They're all houses, like
Yep.
an actual
An
house.
actual house in the neighborhood.
It sounds kind of like years ago we had the safe home model.
Yes.
When we used to have the safe homes. You know, as you're talking about it, my mind is going to the safe home model and how we used to have those.
Absolutely.
But we just didn't visit in them, you know,
Right.
and we've taken it to that step now where the families have that opportunity.
You know, it's amazing that, you know, to be able to actually plan the meal, and part of the coaching is when we talk to, like, they'll actually do a grocery list. They'll buy the groceries, they'll have the groceries there, but it's the parents' list. So, you know, you think about culture and different types of foods people have. And, you know, I know, you know, what a comfort it is for a kid to have their mom's or dad's meal, right?
Sure,
That's one
sure.
thing that they lose.
And they get to cook with their mom when they're doing a visit. I mean, how,
Exactly.
yeah, that must feel just so comforting to that child to be able to do that.
Right. You know, and they have, you know, games, books. They're pretty amazing settings.
So now I understand that the Lego Corporation is working with the Department of Children and Families and wanting to partner with us and be kind of just a collaborative friend in helping to enhance those visits between a parent and a child. Can you tell me the nature of that relationship?
Sure. So Lego has been a great partner, a new partner for us. They've actually donated games and Legos to every quality parenting center now. And what they want to do is even take it a step further. So we're forming a collaboration with 2 of our sites right now, and to develop a learning curriculum. Sorry.
Yep, that's okay.
And really the idea behind it is kids learn through play, right? Brain development, their trust, communication skills, all that can be learned and enhanced through play. So the curriculum will involve Legos, but it's really teaching a parent to use play as interaction. So we're going to be forming the collaborative, we're going to be forming teams, writing the curriculum, going to all the other quality parenting centers, and then hopefully by the fall we're going to start working with foster parents.
Okay.
So we'll take it a step further.
And yeah, and I think that that's great, and I think it also gives the parent permission to play, and
Yes.
they're going to learn so much about their child, and just maybe just have those conversations that the child may not have if they're just kind of sitting and staring at one another.
Right.
But so will the QPCs and the staff be a part of developing that curriculum?
Yes, they will. They're going to be part of the design, implementing it with families, and how that will happen.
I think that's wonderful.
It really is.
And we all, are so fond of Legos. And why Legos? Is it because Lego came to us and they had this idea and they wanted to partner with us?
Yeah, my understanding is they came as an outreach. They had some internship possibilities, and then the discussion just started growing and growing of, hey, this is, we'd really like to. We're interested in this type of work, and we'd really like to help. So it's been a new collaboration, but it's really positive.
And it feels like, no matter, where we start, there's an opportunity for really all ages of our kids involved in our program, to benefit from play. I mean, play it's healing, it's bonding, and it, like you said, research shows about brain development. So I think that all in all, it's going to be a very positive experience.
It is. You just mentioned too, it relaxes the parent, right? It's about the interaction with the child. And I remember, I have 2 boys, they're adults now, but the hours we would sit on the floor, right? And they were totally different. One had to follow the little diagram, the other one didn't want anything to do with the diagram, but you let them do it.
Yeah.
And you can see how they learn skills by it.
And the creativity of their mind.
Yes.
Whether you're following that blueprint that came with the box, or you're doing something. I had the pleasure of being a part of last summer. Lego came and worked with our upper management, and they brought Legos, and each table was given an assignment. What to do with their Legos, and what every table developed as a result of what the instructions were. It was comical, but it just showed where the mind knows no limits in what you can achieve. And I think that play, in our society now, I think it's a lost form of childhood play. Especially our kids involved with our system. The trauma that they endured possibly as a child, or in the hands of their caregivers, they didn't have that chance to play, and now to have that reintroduced to them with their parent, I think is so powerful.
Right. And it offers the opportunity for conversation, for be able to listen, for a kid to be able to do something and be able to share what's happening, without just sitting in two chairs staring at each other.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a conversation starter. And from what I understand, after when do you anticipate that this will start? Your work with Lego.
So we're going to be in the next month. We're going to be forming our teams to develop the curriculum. So by midsummer, we should have a product. So piloting those in the two areas that you're talking about is really setting that groundwork for all of the quality parenting centers to be able to start using this. Correct. And I understand that we may be also adding this to our foster care training, the modules that when we train new people to become foster parents, that this may be an added benefit for them as well. Right. So our foster care director is going to be sitting in, has been sitting in on the meetings, is going to be sitting in as we go forward with the development and getting a really good idea of how we can integrate it into the foster parent training. We also have our own workforce development at the table, thinking about even with our workers, right? And I remember back when we would visit kids, and you would be in kids' homes, you would sit down with them, and you have to be comfortable to be able to do that. Yeah, and I think that's such an important thing that you said, is not everybody is comfortable playing, right? Or having some kind of dramatic play, or that making fantasies with your, it's not. We're so concrete, and I think that not everyone is comfortable. So I think that this curriculum that you'll be developing is going to, I'm sure, address that. Absolutely. Yes. Yeah, that's very exciting. Do you know if they've done this in any other area? I'm fairly new to the project, so I don't. Yeah, and I asked that because when I first became involved in working with Lego as well, I think you and I have the same role in the sense of being a part of these meetings that we are. I believe that they've donated the product to other states and other visitation centers, but I'm not certain that they've worked the way that we're going to be working together with the curriculum, because anybody can get a bag of Legos, and we all know how to start with that, building. But I think that curriculum and working with children who have experienced trauma, and whatever is the goal for that child and that family, and having a curriculum to follow, I think is going to be beneficial for everyone involved. Right. And the facilitator we're working with, every meeting she starts it off with an activity. And last meeting it was drawing a sun, and then talking about the sun. So it doesn't have to, it's not necessarily having Legos, it's more about the concept of play and building that in. And having to stop and pause to find what I'm part of that same meeting, and I'm thinking, what am I going to make a sun out of that's in my immediate vicinity? But then you get excited about what you see that looks like a sun, and it takes you, it's not taking you away from the work, because we're obviously still grounded, and we're doing this as part of our work and as part of us trying to help and strengthen our families. But it relaxes you. It just kind of brings you out of that intense mode of that work, and trying to kind of lighten the environment for that minute. Absolutely. Yeah. And even to see your other coworkers and what ideas they have. Yeah. It's kind of neat. Yeah, and you think, wow, that was really creative. That was really good that they did. I didn't know they had that and I think it brings out from the people that you think you know so well, you get to learn a whole nother, dimension about that person. Absolutely. Yeah. Well, I think that's great. So I appreciate you being on the show today and talking about, the work that we're doing to try to, lessen those numbers of children that are in congregate settings, and, and the value that we're placing on families, and showing them how we're working so hard together with them to get their child back, and so are our foster families. Yep. We're really working together as a team, and having been here for just a little bit longer than you, to see this growth in our department
department and on the values that we're putting on families, I'm proud to say that I work for the department.
Yeah, absolutely, I agree.
Yeah, well, thank you again
You bet. Thank
for
you.
being on. Thank you for watching today. And now we turn to a video with words from our teens who are asking you to meet them where they're at. Thank you.
I have a story that needs to be told.
Before I was placed in foster care, I learned through actions and inactions of others
that I was not worthy of love,
that I was not worthy of love,
that I was not worthy of love or attention.
I learned that my needs
are not a priority.
As a result of that negativity,
I experienced insecurity.
I want to be accepted by society, but I'm unsure if I have that ability.
Teach me through your actions.
Teach me through your actions.
Teach me through your actions that I deserve to be cared about
and treated well.
Don't make me feel as if I'm a burden.
Remind me that I am here for a reason.
That I was brought into this life because I'm strong enough to live it.
I'm strong enough to live it.
I am strong enough to live it.
Show me that my presence is a gift.
Try
to meet me where I am at.
Give to me without expecting anything in return.
Because I may be too hurt and angry to express appreciation when you're trying to help me.
But trust that one day,
I will remember that you gave to me.
In this way. Can you meet me where I'm at?
Let me be sad sometimes.
Give me room to mess up and make mistakes.
Because mistakes are opportunities
to learn and grow.
By forgiving me, you teach me how to forgive.
Understand, there will be times I need space from all the voices.
That think that they know what's best for me.
What's best for me.
What's best for me.
Remember that I am not a paycheck. I'm a person. Will you meet me where I'm at?
Remind me that my past
does not define me.
Help me learn to be helped.
Mentor my thoughts.
Encourage my ideas.
Challenge my pushbacks. Laugh with me.
Cry with me.
Have fun with me.
Have trust in me.
Ask me these questions.
What are my dreams?
What is my purpose?
What are my talents?
How can I help others?
How can I help others?
Let me know that you're here to help me reach my goals.
And I will become empowered.
But first,
you have to meet me where I'm at.
I long for community and to be connected.
Help me with my self-esteem.
And help with my other esteem.
Which is how I feel about and relate to others.
Show me how to see that I am needed in my community.
And the world.
And see how I can make a difference.
See how I can make a difference.
You have this gift.
Share it with me.
Share it with me.
Remember that I have lived a different life before I met you.
A life you may never understand.
I am not asking you to solve all of my problems.
Just help make sure
I don't have to face my problems alone.
I am asking you.
I am asking you to meet me where I'm at.
Meet me where I'm at.
Meet me where I'm at.
Riverview Apartments is Bristol's 2-time beautification award-winning residence community for adults age 55 and older. They offer 1 or 2 bedroom apartments with modern appliances, air conditioning, wall-to-wall carpet, and tiled floors. Both heat and hot water are included. Riverview also offers a wide range of activity rooms that include a billiard parlor and a spacious community room. It is handicap accessible with safe, secure parking for tenants and ample off-street parking for visitors. 860-940-6757 or riverviewbristol.com.